Welcome back to Wisconsin Family. We are filming at Rubens Furniture. We are downtown and we're having a lovely time here on the curvy couch.
Yes.
And
Yes.
now we're going to talk about some things for your home later in the show. But another item for your home that of course is very important, sets the stage for the tone in the room, is your window coverings and what kind of light you're bringing in. We've talked safety, we've talked all kinds of different things with Georgie Schwandt, who's here with Incredible Windows. And today we're talking about something a little different. So I'm excited to have you and talk about this topic. But
Thanks, Jessa.
yeah, thank you for being here.
It's my pleasure.
The topic of the day is trying to cover windows. I'm sure you get these questions a lot that aren't your typical square or rectangle.
I do get those questions.
So let's find out.
As yesterday.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. Well, yeah, I can imagine that being a tough thing to do. So can you cover odd shapes?
Yes, indeed we can.
Okay.
So, you know, many homes, many buildings have these beautiful architectural windows, which are lovely.
Yeah.
They're just lovely.
Yes.
You know, they could be a hexagon, they could be a triangle, they could be an oval, they could be a circle.
Yeah.
And they're beautiful.
Gorgeous shapes.
Yes.
Or even, you know, sometimes you see the half
Right.
circles, right?
I actually have one of those in my home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
so
but you can cover that.
you can indeed
How?
cover them. Well, there's several options.
Okay.
The consumer needs to think about that window very carefully before they even maybe move into a home or build a home, about the fact that it's, you know, it may be a difficult window to cover. There's no window that we can't cover in some way.
That's incredible.
But, yeah,
The name.
however, there are limitations to what can be put on windows of unusual shapes.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. And, you know, many times people get into a home and they think, oh, I don't think I need anything on that window. And then all of a sudden the heat comes in, the sun comes in. In fact, that happened earlier this summer. A couple built this lovely home up on a hilltop facing west, high ceilings with big windows. And then they moved and they thought, oh my gosh, that western sun is really hot.
Mm-hmm.
And indeed, we could help them.
Right.
But, there's a but. It
But.
was not an easy task, nor was it an inexpensive task.
Sure.
Because specialty shaped windows have some expenses that come with them. One of them is if it's a high window, perhaps it's going to be a scaffolding, or it could be a high ladder.
Sure.
If it's a triangle, if it's a hexagon, if it's an oval, those windows need a template made, because the template is sent to the factory and the product is made to the
For
exact
that.
specification.
It would have to be. How else would it be? Yeah,
It would.
Absolutely.
And the other thing the consumer must think about is you know, is a trade-off. I can have this beautiful shaped window in my home or my office, but if I have to cover it, there's going to be some additional expenses.
Absolutely.
So what you put on it, that's a question I think you asked. You could put a shutter. You can-
Really?
yeah.
You can put a shutter even
could-
on a hexagon.
Well, I'm not sure about a hexagon, but certainly an oval-shaped window or one with a rounded top.
Okay.
You could do something like a wood blind, and these are not specialty shaped windows.
Sure.
Hand samples, but they are examples of what we could put on. So this would be what we put on that particular home. However, it was very high. It was a irregular triangle.
Wow.
We needed scaffolding, and it's inoperable. These
I
are
see.
inoperable.
Okay.
So when you have an oval or a triangle, there really is no way to operate it. However,
I can imagine how would that go up and
right,
down. And,
exactly.
Right.
But what has to happen, so in a wood blind, for example, you know, we have the ability to move it if we want to in a rectangular or square window. In a triangle, it's got to be a fixed slat.
Okay.
So this customer chose to have the slats,
Yeah.
45 degrees up.
Okay.
So then
You get
there's
some
still
coverage.
light. It's not glaring on the furniture or the floor,
Right.
and yet they still have some light.
Okay.
It could go
there's partial
45 degrees
coverage.
down, but that's kind of defeating the purpose.
Right. Then the
because-
light's coming
exactly,
in down into
exactly.
the home. Okay.
So that would be one example.
Right. This makes me wonder why they make windows these shapes.
Well, you know, it's because of the architectural interest,
Sure.
and they're beautiful.
Yes.
They are just beautiful.
Absolutely.
And I have one in my home, and I love it.
Yeah.
But, you know, it took a little thinking about how we were going to
Right,
cover it.
a little
Yeah.
finesse, which you're
That
able
is
to
correct.
provide.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we talked a little bit about our regular shaped windows. What about really hard to reach windows? Maybe something really, really high up. Maybe what are some things to
Actually, we
think
just
about
did
there?
one of those. That's the one I was talking about yesterday. So, indeed, we're able to put, and this happens to be a rectangle. So that makes it somewhat easier because,
helpful.
once again, it's got the squares on the end, so it can be operable. And so this was like 15 feet off the floor.
Wow.
So my installer went and did the measure yesterday. The customer is putting a honeycomb, so a duet or an applause by Hunter Douglas with power.
And that's wonderful because, yeah, then you start wondering, well, how do you open and close
Right.
said shade
So
covering?
if indeed it's high, Steve, I'm sorry, if it's a high window and it's a rectangular shape or a square, it's operable. If it's high, we can put it in, but it would have to be a fixed slat.
Some great examples. So the
Yes.
moral of the story is Georgie is Superwoman and can do anything. So-
Well, we can cover anything. It may not be what the consumer is thinking about because of the engineering.
Right.
So, for example, earlier this summer, I had a beautiful window. It was big, a half moon. The customer wanted, and we can do this, a honeycomb that we can pull up from the bottom. However, it was 120 inches wide, and the maximum width for that option is 60. So we came up with other solutions. He wasn't as happy because we had to, do some piecing of different product together, of the honeycomb, but we got it done.
Well,
So-
Georgie, you're incredible, as is your business.
Thank you.
Incredible Windows. Make
Thank
sure you
you.
give her a call for any windows. Sounds
Thank
like
you.
big, small, irregular,
That's right.
etc.
Short
She'll
and
take
tall.
care of you. She'll get you covered. We'll be back with
right.
more Wisconsin Family after the break. Stay with us.